You are testing powers you do not understand. This time, you won't be so lucky.
I'm Neonangel, and thanks for joining me today. We're going to continue our journey through Blackrock Mountain. Today we're going to be facing Chromaggus. He's probably the toughest boss in this adventure. Didn't have a whole lot of fun facing him, to be honest with you. His special ability is Brute Affliction. You're going to get one of his Affliction cards, which have various abilities. We'll see in a minute. One of his other specials is Chromatic Dragonkin. It's going to get +2/+2 whenever you cast a spell. It makes it really difficult to get rid of the afflictions, and Flameheart, which we've seen in a lot of other fights. And here are the afflictions that you could be facing. They give him health, do damage to you, reduce the cost of his spells, reduce the cost of minions, and allows him to get duplicates of cards as well. Here's the deck that I used against him, and this one's a little more expensive because I had to put a couple of epic cards in there. Some of the most important to start off with are going to be Boneguard Lieutenant, Shadow Word Pain, and even Doomsayer. That way you can go ahead and do something right away, because a lot of times he'll coin out one of his Dragonkins, so you need to be starting to do something right away. Later in the game, Arcane Giant is easy to put out because you've cast a billion spells, and also Priest of the Feast is a real star here because you can gain back all of your health just from all the spells you have. So let's go ahead and get started today.
The light shall bring victory.
And I like being able to start with the Shadow Word Pain, or like I mentioned before, the Boneguard Lieutenant or Doomsayer's also good to start with. We'll see if he coins out something here. Yeah, see, there he goes. It's either a Fairy Dragon or a Chromatic Dragonkin. That's his staple move for his first play. So that's what makes it difficult to get rid of those spells, because you can't cast them or he's just going to get larger and larger, and it makes him really difficult to deal with. I'm trying to decide here if I want to go ahead and kill the Dragonkin or try and save my Lieutenant, but I really like to be able to go ahead and get rid of the red affliction, because otherwise I'm going to be taking at least 9 damage before I can even think about getting rid of it again. And most of the next ones that come up, he has an order that he goes in. He's going to start off with green, then go to red, then blue, then bronze, and black. And pretty much everything after blue, or starting at blue, you really want to get rid of. It just gives him too much of an advantage. If you hold on to the blue affliction, a lot of times he'll end up casting every single Flameheart he has, which I believe he has 3 in his deck, and he'll cast them for 0 mana. So he'll just sit there and keep casting it and fill up his hand completely. Then the next turn, when you've got the bronze one, if you can't get rid of it, he just lays out every single minion he has. Now you can use that to your advantage, and I do that a lot of times, is I will try and lure him in to putting everything on the board whenever I've got probably a taunt to stop them, and put a Doomsayer out there as well. He's not always real smart, and sometimes he will continue casting minions on it. So you can see what he's doing right now. He's just casting them all. And this doesn't look good for me, but believe me, I have come back from worse. But I definitely want to get rid of the Dragonkin right away. You always want to do that before you do any spells. The silences in here are really good they can be used against the technicians if you have to. I prefer not to, though. I'd really like to say them for either the Chromatic Dragonkin, so you can just be able to cast some of the afflictions, or Ysera, because that one is another one that's really difficult for this deck to deal with, because you can't Shadow Word Death it, and otherwise you just have to kill it with pure damage. Now I'm going to see if he is smart and kills the Doomsayer like he should. He probably won't though, because he sees an advantage to go ahead and go for face. And look, he even casts something else right into the face of the Doomsayer. Doesn't even care. And he continues. Not real smart. And now I've got the Priest of the Feast and a million afflictions here. So even though I was extremely low and things were looking grim, and see, he's going to even raise my health with Alexstrasza there. But Priest of the Feast is great for just bringing you back from the brink. And you can hold on to the green afflictions just as long as you want to, really, until you are ready to actually start damaging him. Don't even worry about the green afflictions in your hand, to be honest with you. I'm going to be able to cast the Arcane Giant in my hand for free here in a second. See, I'm back at full health.
Hey, that's my game! You see?
And I've got the Divine Spirit here, so I've got part of the puzzle piece. Ultimately, you want to be able to make a huge minion and just kill him. But you honestly don't even have to. You can just eventually take him out with the Arcane Giants, or run him out of cards. But if ideally you want to get the Death Lord and just buff it super huge and hit him a couple of times. So I've got the Divine Spirit. I just need Inner Fire right now to be able to buff up that Death Lord. Big enough to make a difference, that is. I'm just going to go ahead and use it on the Arcane Giant right here and just start killing everything that he puts out. Kill any of the chromatic dragonkins immediately. Never leave them on the board. And I want to try and keep them healed up past 4 health, because he does have a couple of flame strikes in there, which he'll use flame strikes and swipes. He's already used both of his swipes, but I haven't seen flame strikes yet. So if any of these get below 4 health, he'll cast it. He may cast it now just to get rid of the Bone Guard Lieutenant. Now see, there are a couple of things I can do here. I can either go ahead and make the Arcane Giant even larger than he already is. And that seems like a good bet. A mere 30 damage. Yeah, so there's absolutely nothing he can do here. He's totally dead next turn. And I'm at full health. Well, I won't be after he attacks me here. So that is going to be my first win. And I'm going to go ahead and play through until I've won at least 5 games against him. And trust me when I say this is not a lot of fun. And I will never ever do this again. I spent weeks playtesting this deck, to be honest with you, because I played a lot of different variations and I really was having trouble finding something that could be consistent. This was the first boss that really had a lot of RNG to him, and it was hard to build something to combat that. As you can see here, I rather quickly got the right cards and was able to buff up the Death Lord to where he'll never get through. So I'm going to smash his face here in another turn. And that's win number 2. Some other decks that I've seen that were successful with this were mage decks, and basically just using the Sorcerer's Apprentice to make everything cheaper. So that helped out a lot, being able to empty your hand. Also, another deck that I saw that was really interesting was a Warlock discard deck. And I think with Ungoro coming out, you're going to have some other discard mechanics, so you might even want to look into that type of deck. But like I said before, I really had a lot of trouble finding something that was really consistent. This was by far the most consistent deck that I was able to play test. It took a lot of playtesting and tweaking and fine-tuning. That's win number 3. The Hosen Healer that I have in my hand is really a star, because you can have your huge buffed up minion and he'll just send everything he has into it trying to break your wall, and then you toss the Hosen out there and just completely heal it full. So that's the most effective way to be able to do that. That's going to be a loss. Did not quite make it that time. And it started off so well. There he goes, casting more minions, and even hitting my Doomsayer with a swipe when he can't kill it. And he just goes for face, still puts out another minion, and everything gets blown up. So you'll see him not make the smartest decisions often. I am really, really low here. If I get a Brute Affliction red, I'm going to be toast. I've got to start healing myself up. But luckily with the Priest of the Feast, he makes that easy. See, I did draw a red. If I wouldn't have been healing myself with the spells, then I'd be toast. And still, he's just taking me down and down. I've got to find a way out here. Just keep casting those spells. and yay, Alex Straza saved me. He healed me up. Once again, I have got to heal myself here. and hope I don't continue to get Brute Affliction Reds, which I keep getting, but I was still able to take him out. But that was a really close game. Let's see if I can do that one more time. See, it's ridiculous how much he can put out at a time. Of course, I just burned a Death Lord there, which I hate. Things are not looking good for me. If he has a swipe, or that. If he has bite, I'm dead too, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that one just did not go real well. And see, here I'm trying to lure him out into getting more minions on the board. And it worked. Although I'm really, really low. Again, Priest of the Feast to the rescue. You're just gaining tons of life back from him. He is definitely a star of this deck. Without him, you just would not be able to overcome the all the damage that is done to you. And Alex Straza again, thank you very much. I really want to be able to keep the priest alive if possible. If he does another flame strike, it's going to clear everything out of here. See, Ysera has to mess everything up, but thankfully I have a silence. Hopefully he didn't draw anything too good. Now that I've got both priests on the board though, you'll see some really crazy life gain. He was finally able to kill it, but I already healed back to full, so that was pretty good. See, there comes the Hosen coming in for the win there, and I have ran him out of cards. I don't care what he has at this point. He's dead. So that is going to be win number 5. And thank God I never have to do that again. Thanks everyone for joining me today, and I hope I've given you some good ideas today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.